Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
9 days till Christmas. Man, where has the time gone? It's pretty incredible, isn't it? Just zips right by you.
This one especially, and I don't know why. I haven't figured out why, but this one has just
Part of
flown.
it is probably that Thanksgiving came as late as it possibly can.
Yeah.
So the Christmas season's like a week shorter than normal.
Yeah.
So that could be part of it. The other part is time has just been sped up. And
has it really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It has.
See, no wonder I'm not getting enough sleep.
No wonder, right? Speaking of which, did you see the really great news that Donald Trump wants to eliminate daylight savings time?
I did.
I love it.
Yes. And Patty Murray, flaming liberal, has said, bipartisan effort underway. Let's go.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And what he is saying is, let's just keep standard time. Daylight saving time costs us too much money. It's not necessary. It screws things up. And that's the best proposition, is to just leave it alone. Okay, we're in standard time right now. Just stay there. Don't do that jump back, fall ahead thing. I hate that. Of course, in the spring, you jump ahead, so you lose an hour. But why is that necessary now? Everybody knows it's not. So that's one of the things he wants to do.
So this would be the darker, earlier deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So we just stay this way all year round. So it wouldn't necessarily be light in the north at 9:45 in the summertime,
Yeah, and they in 2006, as one of the last things the Republican Congress did was they changed the dates on that.
Right.
So they made it longer.
Yes.
Made summer longer.
They made it worse,
and you know what
in my opinion.
Justification was to save on energy costs.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Stupid.
And wow, what savings we've experienced since.
Yes.
Yeah. Here was the tweet or truth. I'm not sure which.
He did
this
both,
was on.
I think. Yeah.
He said the Republican Party will use its best efforts to eliminate daylight saving time, which has a small but strong constituency, but shouldn't. Daylight saving time is inconvenient and very costly to our nation. Thank you, Donald Trump. Just another of the great things we could look forward to, I hope. And again, if it's a bipartisan thing, there's Democrats on board, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to pass that. Just get it done. Doesn't have to happen with executive order where it can be changed, in 2029. Just do it through legislation. Let's win this thing. Let's move on. Let's get over it. That'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Boy, it's going to be
about it.
A new industry for clocks. Since so many of them now just automatically
just switch.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, get back here.
Yeah. All right, so the drone thing continues.
Boy.
And who knows what that is? I mean, we're hearing so many varying stories about it.
I don't think the answer is good, though, whatever the answer ends up being.
It almost can't be at this point, can it? They're just trying to keep too much from us. Because they know what it is. They know what it is. Just tell us. Let's say it's super secretive equipment. If that's the case, why are you testing it over a massively populated area? But also just tell us. Yeah, it's a new thing we're trying out. All right.
I don't know. I think that there were some scary updates to this story over the weekend that we'll definitely get into.
And we'll get into those in 1 minute. Got to tell you about this it's a Danish study that shows that just 1 year after aborting their child, women exhibited 50% higher likelihoods of first-time psychiatric treatment, 87% higher likelihood of personality and behavioral disorders. So how is that women's health care? We all know it's not, right? It's something completely different, and it's part of the death cult, and they worship at that altar. It doesn't have to be that way, and that's why Preborn is out there fighting for babies and the women, their mothers that are in crisis and have been pushed into this decision by so many different people in their lives, no doubt. But Preborn offers them an alternative and support. First of all, they show them an ultrasound which costs $28. That's where you come in. If you could afford $28, that doubles the chance that a baby will be born alive. So there's that, but also there's a lot of support for the mother afterwards in the form of baby food and formula and diapers and emotional support and car seats and all the things that they need in order to be a successful mother for the next up to 2 years. It's just such a great organization, and you can help. And right now, everything you donate is matched by a matching fund donation, so it doubles your donation. It's a great time to give, and it's Christmas. What better time of year to save lives? So go to dial pound 250, say the keyword baby, that's pound 250, keyword baby, or just go to preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed is back.
So, impeached douchebag Alejandro Mayorkas is he's
worthless.
He's downplaying this thing.
He is so worthless.
Completely.
We need a new word to define this guy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. First of all, let's do the CNN thing. Apparently, they went drone hunting over the weekend in New Jersey.
Yeah.
All right, here's that.
Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
Uh-oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it?
What was it?
Hours
Not a helicopter
earlier, I was
either.
invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff
Christmas
Department.
colors.
They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks.
And?
The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is?
Cow.
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced
High-tech
until
military
now.
stuff.
One of
Obviously.
their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer.
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here.
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. In more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are
Sure they
either.
don't.
What's your message to the White House?
Sure they don't.
The message, come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then,
And then,
maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
Okay. Interesting.
You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air.
Just hobbyists.
You know,
That's
to me,
all.
if this
Don't worry
is
about
not
it.
our military, then it's even more scary, and we need answers, frankly.
Frankly, I think you're right. That's obviously NewsNation, not CNN. However, this is not what they're trying to pass it off as. Oh, these are hobbyists. It's just people screwing around. No, nothing illegal about it. They're not over military bases or airports, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, we'll just trust you then.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the weekend.
They can't even be detected? Wow.
No heat. There's no heat coming off them.
That's interesting. That's obviously sophisticated equipment that isn't available to hobbyists.
Curious design, yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, Santa is coming to town.
It's Santa? Okay.
I mean, it's Christmas colors, right?
Yes.
All right.
Uh-huh. Here is one possible explanation on these mysterious UFOs. Apparently, according to a post that was shared on X, the unidentified objects are most likely just one object, a drone developed by PteroDynamics. You seen that story yet?
Is PteroDynamics the guy I sent you this weekend, the video?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
The XP4 is one of the company's latest technological developments, and it's being developed for the U.S. Navy. This all fits as a logistics and recon drone. Part of the confusion around all of this, though, is the response from the U.S. government. But
Always.
If it is something for the U.S. Navy, they're probably not gonna tell us about it. But it wouldn't be the first time, of course, that the U.S. government has been secretive about this kind of stuff.
No, there was one guy there was a video this weekend, and he owns a drone company based in the state of Kansas, I believe. And he did this 9-minute video that I sent to the crew here that basically just, it's terrifying. Honestly, it's like the sum of all fears is kind of what's possibly playing out right now as far as a nuke. He talked about a guy that he knows who had his hands, who physically touched a nuke that went missing in Ukraine after the fall of the Soviet Union. And it could be that these drones are in the process of attempting to locate like a radioactive signature because of something that could be nefarious planned for us in this country. Now, this is all speculation, but he used his knowledge that was very convincing as far as these drones and his connection to this individual who knew.
So these are supposedly trying to detect radiation?
Correct. Now, the other side of that coin is other people were pointing out that, and there is, by the way, and I need to go to this website, though, but there's tweets going out right now that the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission is on the lookout for radioactive material that's missing. So that's floating about. But what I said there, the other side of the coin is that there's a decommissioned nuclear plant. So people are saying, "Hey, look at these nuclear signatures here down," and so there's a decommissioned nuclear power plant in Ocean County, New Jersey. And so what some people are saying is that there's always been radiation in that area, which I'm sure is comforting for those living in Ocean County, New Jersey. And then they go on to talk about how pollution inherently has radioactive properties. So if there is a nuclear angle here, it could be just that. So I don't know. Again, I'm where I was a week ago. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But something's up.
Yeah.
And they don't want to tell us, and that's pretty clear.
Well, they obviously, because they know what it is. I'm going to say it again. They know what it is. We're not that stupid.
Right.
I mean, there's too many things that they can employ to find out what these things are. And they know.
Yeah, and I mentioned the sum of all fears. If you're not familiar, that's somebody trying to start a nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia. And after detonating a bomb in the United States. So let's hope.
Baltimore, I believe.
Yeah, it was Baltimore.
Yeah. According to PteroDynamics, though, apparently when they were talking about developing this for the Navy, they said they would eventually test it in New Jersey.
Aha!
Could this be that? I don't know.
See, let's hope it's just a test.
That's what I'm hoping. That it is ours, that it belongs to the Navy, but it's secretive, so they can't tell us about it. But, I mean, then they insult our intelligence by acting like, oh, no, nothing. You're not seeing what you see.
What's funny is I'm looking at their website for PteroDynamics. That first picture, it looks exactly
like this.
Like what they just showed at NewsNation.
Yes. With the fixed wing thing. Yeah. Yeah. They're about this. They're the same size, same look.
About the same size and look. Yes.
Yeah.
Just own up.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you need to.
Yes.
Because there's some pretty clear images of it now.
Yes.
Like Mayorkas? Like, he'll totally tell us the truth, right?
Yeah. Here's what impeached Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas had to say.
We can't just shoot a drone out of the sky.
But do you know for sure these are drones or unmanned aircraft? What are they?
We believe that there are cases of mistaken identity where drones are actually small aircraft and people are misidentifying them. There very well may be drones in the sky, of course, but those are commercially available. One can go into a convenience store and buy a small drone. There are also commercial drones as well. But we know of no threat or nefarious activity. And I want to repeat, Wolf, that if we learn of any cause for concern, we will be transparent in our communication of it.
Jeez.
He's awesome. He's got the jokes, man.
Wow. What a lying sack.
Yep.
Just unconscionable what they're trying to pull here. Come on. Jeez. All right, let me tell you about this new movie that opens this coming Friday. If you're looking for a really intense, heartfelt movie experience, Homestead is where you can find it. Imagine the gripping drama of a nuclear blast destroying parts of Los Angeles and throwing the country into chaos. That's the scenario that starts everything out in Angel Studios' upcoming movie. It delivers a powerful story that will have you on the edge of your seat. In the aftermath of the disaster, an ex-Green Beret finds refuge in a prepper community amid the tension and survival challenges. Love blossoms, hidden truths come to light, and a tight-knit community learns what it really means to endure. Homestead dives deep into human resilience and morality while delivering incredible action and emotional depth. So get ready for a wild ride. It's filled with twists, tough choices, and unforgettable moments. Don't miss Homestead in theaters starting December 20th. That's this coming Friday. You can pre-order right now at angel.com/unleashed. You also get a chance to win an amazing $300,000 giveaway, which includes a Bitcoin valued at probably over $100,000 now. Is it?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A tiny home, custom Polaris OHV, everything you need to start your own homestead life. It's a must-see movie event of the season. See you at the theater. And you can, again, pre-order right now at angelstudios.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray returns.
Hey, do we have an image of the convenience store drones?
Right?
I think maybe just a freeze frame on that story if we don't have an actual image. There you go. There's an example of a convenience store drone. That's not the one exactly that we saw.
Not quite the same one that you were referring to. Actually, this one's very important. In fact, and we're all going to hit our heads and go, oh, this is what's happening. Can we zoom in on the message on these drones? Oh, there we go, Pat. Can you see that?
We've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
See, they're just trying to help out is all.
Is that all that? Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I love how...
So you have to really zoom in on it, though, to see
Yeah, and that's the problem. So I love how Mayorkas is like, yeah, you could just go down to the Quick Trip
funny.
And get you one of these drones.
Sure, yeah.
Have you ever walked into a convenience store
for a drone?
And seen a drone for sale?
No, I mean, not even a small one.
Right. I don't even think Buc-ee's carries them.
I don't think so. Asinine.
And
especially not these really big 8 to 10 foot wingspan drones.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't get that at a convenience store. Again, it's so insulting. So insulting to our intelligence.
But I have faith because the one thing that these drones did overnight was come across Security Forces Air Force gate guards.
Yeah, we have an update on that story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got the radio traffic from Wright-Patterson in Ohio. This is interesting.
Patterson Tower, Med-Flight 8, 1,900 feet, about 7 miles southwest of the field, like transition your Delta northeastbound.
Med-Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security Forces is handling the situation. Suggest at or above 1,700 AGL.
That we will maintain 2,000 on our transition.
UAPs, man.
And I gotta keep the lights down so that Security Forces can see.
That's you.
Roger that, no problem.
Sure is.
Position approved, sir.
That's your gang.
Approved, my buddy.
Wow. So it's in the...
Flight 8 tower.
Yeah.
For my flight 8.
Hey, sir, you're still approved through our Class Delta. After you leave, Columbus is going to sterilize the Class Delta as of 0330 Zulu. Patterson Class Delta is closed after your transition.
I'm sorry about that. You got stepped on by other traffic. Can you say again?
Repeat.
Yes, sir. Your transition is still approved. However, Patterson Class Delta is sterilized as of 0330 Zulu for heavy unknown UAS activity. Security Forces is handling it, and Columbus is going to sterilize the airspace after you leave the Delta.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Do you know what that means,
Roger
Chris?
that, no problem. Thank
They're
you.
going to sterilize the airspace?
Clorox wipe.
Clorox wipe.
All aircraft use extreme caution. Patterson Class Delta is now closed for heavy UAS activity.
Golly, they had to close the airspace for
It's
4
just to
hours.
yes.
Friday night.
It's just to make sure that there's nothing lingering in the atmosphere, like if they left something there. So security forces will do a sweep.
That's your guys.
Yes,
that's your team.
That's our
team
gate
gate
guards.
guard.
Team gate guards. They'll shoot them down. Those kids are 19. They're ready to shoot something. Keep going over an Air Force Base. You will get shot down.
Okay, so all right, so let's unwind this a little bit. If that's our drones, then why isn't Wright-Patterson aware?
In the loop, exactly.
Okay, I don't like this anymore.
That's bizarre.
I honestly, our government is so dysfunctional and incapable of the simplest. They've proven time and time again, simplest security for this nation that we're not going to know the story. There's something happening behind the scenes. It's going to make a great story someday, but we're not going to know until I fear something really bad happens.
And citizens are going to take this into their own hands.
Yeah.
They're going to start shooting at these things. They're fortunate it's in New Jersey, and maybe that's why it's in Jersey instead of Texas. Because in Texas, we would have already shot all these down.
Oh, I'm ready.
Night number 2, we're like, no, you're not flying over my house.
I want them to come to Texas.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to New Jersey to see them. Come to Texas.
Yeah, something is about to go down with these stinking drones. That's for sure. And they're telling people, if you encounter one that's downed, call a hazmat crew.
Yeah, don't approach it.
Don't approach
But
it.
I thought they
Don't
didn't
touch
know what
it.
this was.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't know.
Why would I?
I guess just in case. Just in case.
Hold on a second. So let's take that message and marry it with the impeached Mayorkas message of, you can go down to the convenience store or whatever. Are those hazardous drones they're selling in our convenience stores? That's the issue here.
Yes. Maybe we should speak to 7-Eleven about that. Why are you selling hazardous material drones?
Right next to the Slurpee machine.
Stop it.
I mean, the EPA, OSHA, somebody needs to get in here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, 5 weeks.
Oh, man.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of theories out there.
I would suspect that Trump, if this is still going on by then, would definitely put a stop to it. Right? I mean, he has to.
He has to. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way this can continue.
So, okay, hold on. A serious question. Who right now is the commander-in-chief? It sure as hell ain't Joe Biden.
Nobody. You were just on
Who are you going to say, hey, we're running these operations. We're looking for it doesn't even have to be a dirty bomb or something like that, a nuclear warhead. Just say, look, there's a threat. We're scanning the area. Like, who are you telling for authorization for this kind of stuff?
Well, you're going to the normal places right now.
Oh, where's that?
I mean, you call, I don't know, the local sheriff's department.
Oh, no.
That'd be the first call.
I mean, if this is our military that's on the hunt for something nefarious,
yeah,
who are they getting permission to do these sweeps from?
Bob.
President Bob?
Bob at the Pentagon?
At the Pentagon.
Okay, Bob. You just call Bob.
Just call Bob
at the Pentagon. We'll get you the number. Just look it up in the yellow pages.
Oh, under B's.
Yeah. All right.
You're not telling Joe Biden.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm
you're
saying.
Not
You're not telling him.
Well, because what's he going to do about it?
Right.
Nothing. He doesn't even know where he is. He doesn't know why he's not wearing pants right now. He has no idea.
Okay, so can we agree that we are in an insanely dangerous window right now?
No question. Yeah, and it's not just this. We're going to talk about Ukraine as well coming up. I mean, there are so many things going on that make the world so dangerous.
Yes.
Jeez. I mean, there are really scary things happening in the Baltic right now, where Russian ships are coming in contact with German ships and NATO ships, and it's just a really precarious situation. We'll tell you about that.
35 days.
In the meantime, have you seen the list of presidential pardons and commutations over the past 75 years or so? That's why I've broken out the Jackie glasses, because in very small print, I do have a list of the number presidents and the number of individuals they pardoned, commuted, or rescinded. Okay, so start with JFK.
Wow.
575, but he only had, a couple of years. What was it, 1,000 days in office or something that we always hear about with him? Lyndon Baines Johnson, 1,187 in his tenure.
And one of them wasn't himself, huh?
No, apparently not. Didn't need it, though, because he got off scot-free for all the nefarious activities he was up to. Richard Nixon, 926. And he was one of them, right? Because Gerald Ford... They got rid of Spiro Agnew, who was the vice president, because nobody would have tolerated Spiro Agnew becoming president of the United States. So they got rid of Spiro.
Yeah, they needed a deep stater in there, and that was Gerald Ford.
And they put in Gerald Ford. And Gerald Ford pardoned him. And Gerald Ford also pardoned 408 other people for a total of 409. Jimmy Carter, 566 people, plus 200,000 Vietnam War draft evaders.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. 200,000.
That's a lot.
So he apparently has the record then based on that. 200,000. So if you burned your draft card, if you went to Canada during that time period, you were pardoned by Jimmy Carter. I didn't remember that. Anybody remember that?
I don't know that I've ever heard that either.
That's interesting.
If I did, I forgot.
Yeah, put the number back up. Put the we're still working on this list.
Page 2.
Can you go down? Scroll down.
Page 2. Thank you.
Ronald Reagan, 406. George H.W. Bush, only 77 people.
Wow, what a hater.
What a loser.
Bill Clinton, 459. George W. Bush, 200. Now, keep in mind, those last two are in 8 years. Yeah. Barack Obama, 1,927.
What are we hiding, Barack?
Donald Trump, 237. Biden, so far.
Oh, wait, that's not. Hold on. That graphic is not accurate. I sent that in, and no, I think.
The 8,062 for Biden is not accurate?
No, hang on.
Wait,
is it more than that?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
hold on.
come on.
8,062, and that's not as many as he's actually pardoned?
Yeah, roughly 1,500 now. I'm sorry. How do
you mean 15,000? Because 1,500 is less than 8,000.
I'm sorry. We're up to 9,400, I believe.
9,400.
Let's see. I think you add 1,500 to that.
Oh, from this latest round?
Something like that. Yeah. I can't find the number off the top of my head, but
it's a ton.
We've added to that.
It's 7 times as much as the previous high with Barack Obama.
He's going for the Jimmy Carter record.
Yeah. Right. He's going for the 200,000.
He's going for the Jimmy Carter record.
Wow.
And the people. Wow. Some of the people that this SOB has pardoned.
Oh, the Chinese spies.
Chinese spy.
Vomitous.
Yes.
This is incredible. We got to pay more attention to this. We'll get into this coming up in a minute. But the Chinese spy situation, we've talked about it, but we haven't really leaned on it, and I think it deserves being leaned into.
Yeah, and I know you're going to get into the details of that, but there was a judge in Pennsylvania who was part of and this is called, I think, one of the worst judicial, if not the worst judicial scandal in Pennsylvania history. And so basically, I think there's these couple of judges that it was a kickback that they got for sentencing kids to a youth detention center, a privately owned youth detention center. They would make a judgment that sent these kids to this juvie facility, and they would get kickbacks. And so now a pardon for that judge that was heading that up. I mean, that's...
Wow.
And it's been universally condemned, this pardon. What the hell?
Incredible. More on that and so much more coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yeah. Welcome. Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I tell you about this Chinese spy situation that were just some spies that were just pardoned by Joe Biden. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's only 8,000 or 9,000 some pardons so far from Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, I got to get
all of them completely legit, I'm sure. I'm sure of that. So don't even worry about it. But we were just talking about the drone situation off the air, and I think it's an interesting problem to consider because there's this person. Who is this guy that you sent us the 9-minute diatribe from this guy on the drones?
So he owns if I remember correctly from the video, he owns a drone manufacturing company in Kansas. Mm-hmm. He has someone he knows that. Do you want me to keep going with the explanation of how he?
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, if we're going to talk about it.
This guy had his hands on this nuke because you'll recall, you and I were talking during the break. I remember where I was when I heard this interview about missing nuclear warheads after the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, especially from Ukraine.
Ukraine, yep. Mm-hmm. And I think 80 or so. And so
they've tracked down almost all of them.
Yeah, and I think there's just this one rogue one, if you will. There's this one out there apparently still unaccounted for, but this guy in the video, I'll have to post this on X so y'all can see this guy. In fact, I think I did yesterday, as a matter of fact. Anyway, this guy's had his hands on this nuke, touched it physically.
And so what he's afraid of is that the nuke is somewhere in the New York City metropolitan area,
right.
And these drones are actually searching for the nuclear signature.
Correct.
For the radiation.
Correct. And so his buddy or his contact in the business, of course, spent a fair amount of time trying to get people in the government to wake up.
So
wake up. It's here.
If that's what it is, which I hope and pray it isn't, but if this was the case, then what would the government say? They can't come out and say, you know what? There's a missing nuke, and we think it's in the New York area, and somebody's about ready to set it off. So these drones are searching for the nuclear signature. That would cause such an unbelievable panic. I mean, they can't do that, right?
Okay.
What would you do if you're the government and that is the case?
So as this theory becomes more and more popular on social media, that is what is happening, then you could see panic arise out of that. But you could also see if there are terrorists, are bad guys who are planning something like this, maybe now that this is starting to get traction, this theory, you could be speeding up an attack.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
So I don't, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, where do you go from here?
This all sounds like the perfect example of the greatest TV show 24.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Every time you explaining that, I was editing back here. I was like, wait, I feel like that's one of the plots of 24.
George Mason's a hero. He may be tough to work for, but man, he's a hero at the end of the day. Remember that? Flies that plane.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did. I guess it's no spoiler alerts at this point. No. George Mason. Greatest name for
to call Jack Bauer, please.
I mean, the series is 20 years old now?
Oh, yes. It was like right after 9/11.
Even I saw that. Yeah. Uh-oh.
I knew we'd hear from him.
Uh-oh.
I knew he'd enter the studio. Come on in.
Jack Bauer just walked in.
It's too late now.
Jack Bauer walked in.
I'm just listening to you as I'm doing my show prep. And this is absolutely... well, let me put it this way. We've been saying the time between the election and the inauguration are the most dangerous because the elites want a global war.
Yes, they do.
All right.
And they want to throw Trump come what may. They don't care what they do to the country in the meantime.
So let me ask you this. What you were just saying, you can't say we have nukes.
Right. You can't.
Right. But let's say it's a nuke, but not a New York City destroying nuke, not a Hiroshima nuke,
right?
But a nuke that takes out, lower Manhattan.
Like one of those strategic nuclear devices.
The one on 24 in L.A. was pretty contained.
To say it's a dirty bomb, okay? Kills a bunch of people, okay? What does the government say when they're denying it now and it goes off and we
then we find out that they knew about it.
What the hell? You deny you.
Right.
What are they going to say? I mean, I personally think they shouldn't say it's a nuke. We have no idea if this is even true.
Right. Looking for escape monkeys.
Yeah, but if it is, I think they should say, look, there's Department of Homeland Security concerns about terrorist activity over the next month, and there could be all kinds of different things.
Okay.
We are just making sure that nothing in this area is happening.
But the follow-up is, okay, what are those drones doing then? What are they searching for?
They're searching for
monkeys on the loose.
Monkeys with bird flu. Bird flu monkeys.
Oh, we got
they're the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz.
And then before you know it, we got lockdowns part 2.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a tough situation. If this is what it is, I don't know how you handle it.
And if this is what it is,
I don't know.
We got here because of gross incompetence on every level of our government.
That's right, and they certainly don't want to admit that.
Yeah, hold on, Glenn. I'm with you. Keep talking.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we got here because I think we got here through a brilliantly played plan for a very long time.
Yes, sir.
We've talked about that many times.
I mean,
the progressive plan has been genius.
And,
for
and
over
look,
100 years.
We all know this is the largest heist of all time.
Yeah.
Okay? The money transfer of wealth that's going on from the United States Treasury to wherever is the largest heist in all of human history. And I just said last week, if they just start to just think of the Epstein files. Let's just say there's 200 mega powerful people, which we know there are. Okay, 200 people. Do you know what that would do to the stock market, to the stability, to everything else? The leaders of all these companies and everything else. Those guys will kill. There are trillions of dollars at stake.
And
they'll kill.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you have people who don't really value human life on the other side.
That's right. You could look at it one way. They would love to expand a war between the U.S. and Russia, but also the clock is counting, and we're exactly 5 weeks out from a transfer of power. Some of the things that Kash Patel wants to unveil, do you think that they're going to go down without a fight? The clock is ticking on revealing all of this.
You have the biggest criminals of human history
who want chaos
backed into a corner.
Yes.
And chaos works for them.
Yes, it does.
Death works for them.
What better
they don't
way
mind.
to take your eye off of that ball than to have something catastrophic happen?
What was really disturbing is that because I know president-elects always get security briefings.
I've been thinking about that.
Okay?
I've been thinking about that.
He's getting security briefings, and if he doesn't know what the government knows about drones, then that's even worse.
That's right.
But he comes out and says the government should take care of this, right now. Right now.
Okay, so what do you make of Wright-Patterson closing airspace? Is it just a need to know on over at Wright-Patterson when they were flying over there Friday night? And I mean, they're not in on it, apparently. They shut down
at least not
traffic.
Everybody at.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's just a certain level.
It's just a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, but why wouldn't that air base be in the know? Why wouldn't the commander be commanded, leave it open?
Right.
Sir, what are you talking about? We don't know what these are. Follow the chain of command.
Yeah.
Leave it open. He doesn't have to know.
So then it makes you go back and go, all right, whose drones are these? But is anybody left that doesn't believe that these are our drones?
Me, I could be there.
Really?
You could talk me into it.
That they're not ours?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
You could talk me into that.
So what's worse? Enemy drones just surveying the nation, or our military surveying for radioactive materials?
They both kind of ended
pretty bad. They're both equally bad.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
The only good scenario here is that it's overblown because people are faking videos.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's overblown. It's not as bad, but I don't believe that because Tanya's family called and said, with video, they're over New Haven.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I don't know what, she took pictures of it, but I don't know what those are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's either overblown and everybody's seeing things that maybe, they're just looking for it now, and so they're misrepresenting it.
Yeah.
But
that's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
I think the best case scenario is it's ours, and they're just out there testing. I don't know why they would do this over an urban area. I don't know why you'd do that.
They had to shut down,
They shut down an airport.
An airport.
In New York.
You don't, you don't shut down, I think it was LaGuardia.
I think it was.
You don't shut down LaGuardia, one of the biggest.
No, you don't.
Biggest, they're landing planes in LaGuardia like every 32 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You don't shut that down.
Yeah.
And the president doesn't at least come out with a statement. I said on Friday, the president should come out. If Donald Trump were, and we thought these were just, hobbyists, Donald Trump would come out immediately and say, you're dealing with the FAA and you're dealing with people's lives right now.
Yeah. Stop it.
You stop it because we will find you and you will spend every day you deserve in prison.
And the fact that they haven't done that yet
tells you something.
Tells you it's not hobbyists. They could shut down hobbyists immediately. Immediately.
This is why it's important to know who's in charge.
Yeah,
of the country.
it is. Yeah. Are the Chinese in charge of the country? I mean, you start to wonder now.
Yes.
By the way, they didn't pardon those spies. They commuted their sentence.
Commuted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even that, though.
Yeah, I know.
Stop
it's
Why? That and, I don't know, we're looking at numbers like 8,000, 9,000 people that he's pardoned so far.
Did you hear about the woman in, I was just putting this together. I don't remember where it is. Small little town, woman working for the city, embezzled $54 million.
Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, Illinois. $54 million from her little town. She's caught. She's sentenced to 20 years. She only serves like 4 before she says, my health is deteriorating.
Yeah.
So they put her at house arrest, and even that isn't good enough for Biden. He just let her go. $54 million.
Cool.
Yeah, and the city, the little town, is pissed.
Oh.
They had to cut their budget because they didn't have the money anymore. That's how much she stole from them, and how little reserve they had. They had no breathing room there after.
A small little town, $54 million is
a lot.
$54 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Glenn. I got to tell you about Undertac. With the holidays right on us, Undertac is taking things up a notch with a chance to win $100,000 while you shop. It's the perfect time to stock up, especially since half of all Christmas shoppers buy socks and underwear as gifts. Our friends at Sierra Whiskey Company, makers of Undertac, the world's most comfortable tactical boxers, rugged EDC shirts, and ultra-tough socks, they've partnered with Shared Sweeps to give you a chance to win $100,000. Here's how it works. For every dollar you spend, you'll earn one entry into the $100,000 giveaway. Some items even give you double or triple entries. So the more you shop, the better your odds are. Earn up to 10,000 entries just by buying gear that you and your family need and love anyway. The code is PATWIN, PATWIN, and that gets you entered. And an extra 10% off site-wide. So whether you're grabbing Undertac boxers, which are 50% more moisture-wicking than cotton, or you're buying their American-made socks, hoodies, and T-shirts, you'll be entered to win really big. So go to undertac.com. That's spelled under, TAC.com, undertac.com. Offer code PATWIN for 10% off and start earning entries today. This giveaway ends December 31st at midnight. See the site for details. No purchase necessary to win.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
It feels like a century ago from Friday morning when I said, my theory is it's the deep state saying, look at this threat, Donald Trump. How dare you get in here and use Doge to cut our budget and stuff. Look at this threat that's just off the coast here, flying over American cities. oh my gosh, I'm begging for that to be the answer at this point. Just us flexing our military or, those that are running it behind the scenes.
Certainly beats the alternative.
It sure does. Oh my goodness. I wish that were the answer at this point. I don't know, man.
We don't know.
I'd be...
Nobody knows.
I'm just glad I'm not in the Northeast.
Except the government. The government knows.
It's
my theory anyway.
Some in it do.
Yeah. Yes. Some in the government do. Does Joe Biden know? Who knows?
He doesn't know his name.
Right. Again, he's wondering why he doesn't have his pants on.
I was just going to say that.
Doesn't know where his pants are.
Why he's wearing pants right now.
So I don't put anything past the White House not knowing. But somebody in charge knows what's going on, and they've just chosen not to tell us.
Yes, Bob from the Pentagon.
Bob from the Pentagon.
Guys,
right.
Pay attention to the show. We already covered all this.
So you're saying that you don't like some of these pardons? Is that accurate? Or
I am saying
that. Have you seen some of the clips going around, like Adam Kinzinger speaking about pardons back in 2022? This is fun. This is getting airplay again with Hunter Biden's pardon.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
Oh, you think you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so that would explain Hunter Biden's pardon, of course.
Okay, sure. And then what did Joy Reid have to say?
Oh boy, this is Joy Reid, 2020, December 2020, and December 2024.
The presidential pardon was originally meant to grant the president the power to temper justice with mercy. It was not enshrined in our Constitution so that a dishonorable man could reward his criminal allies, friends, and family for their corrupt practices. I don't have a problem with Biden pardoning his son. He should have pardoned him. The crazies are coming, right? But to me, it's like, pardon more.
Well, he has. So we're good.
Yeah, a lot more. A lot more. Other than Jimmy Carter's pardoning of 200,000 Vietnam-era draft evaders, he's pardoned, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as many as any other president.
Still got 5 weeks, man.
Yeah, and he could easily catch up.
Sure could.
He really
going
could.
For the record.
Now, hopefully Donald Trump will get near the 2,000 mark when he pardons everybody from January 6th.
Yes.
Hopefully that happens day one, because virtually all of them should be pardoned.
Boy, January 20th, with all the news of the day, seems so far away.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Just 35 days.
More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got a few tweets for you from MMB. Could someone please call up Cardinal Joe Tobin of Newark? He'll tell us what the drones are.
I called up Cardinal Tobin, Cardinal Joe Tobin in Newark.
Right? From Giblets. Was Glenn listening to Kid Rock while getting dressed this morning?
Oh.
I want to be a cowboy, baby. Yeah.
There it is.
I want to be a cowboy.
Oh, wait.
You can be my cowgirl.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Not quite Kid Rock.
Not Kid Rock.
Who
no.
is that?
Yeah. That is Boys Don't Cry.
Ah.
Boys Don't Cry.
Interesting.
From what was that, 80s sometime?
Oh, that had 80s flair in it, for sure.
Early to mid 80s.
It matched what Glenn was wearing. I'll say that.
Yeah. It was great. Yeah, he's got the whole cowboy gear going. He was wearing a cowboy hat last week, like a 10-gallon thing or something.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? No, there it is.
Yep, there he is. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good look.
I got some cattle. I'm driving to the town.
From Fury and Energy, they're not looking for a nuke. They're seemingly only flying at night. If they were search drones, they'd be flying day and night all over the place. You wouldn't have a moment's peace.
Of course, now that we've
That's
added
a pretty good point.
It is a very good point. But now that they know the jig
That
is
we
up, maybe they'll be like, all right, we'll just start flying them because they've been trying to hide at night. Now we'll see them during the day and be like,
and if y'all remember 24, most of the ops were at night. So only in the daytime they were in the cars trying to find the dirty bombs in LA.
No, sir. It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right. daylight saving
in real time.
matter.
It was a real time television show.
Now they never had to eat or pee
or drive across L.A., which was
right.
would have taken them 23 of the 24 hours.
They used the tunnels, right?
I tell you.
Yeah.
I should go back and watch those. Maybe the first 3 seasons. When did we say it fell off the rails?
Yes, the first 3 seasons.
Before they started the Muslim outreach thing. It was so ridiculous.
When they started to show footage, I remember it was Fox News footage.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, the locals are beating up Muslims now.
Yeah.
And it was my hometown of Marietta, Georgia on the screen. And I was like, shut up.
I know.
Stop
so
it.
ridiculous.
I say 1, 2, and 3 were the best ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For sure. No question. It was movie quality for those first couple
really
seasons.
Movie quality.
It was so good. Every week was like another movie. It was so good.
Remember the disclaimers? Because once it started getting politically correct, like you said.
Oh, yes.
But we got not only the political correct undertones of the show,
but you had to have the actual announcement before and after.
It was like He-Man used to do this lesson at the end of each show. Now, kids, even though today we chased bad guys, you should call the police in your town instead of whatever the hell it was.
Asinine.
And then they kind of did the same thing on 24. Stop it.
They did. And then all the villains were suddenly Serbian or French.
They were white.
They were white. They're French Canadians, which we know that's where
French
most
Canadian.
world terrorism comes from, French Canada. So that's great. From Quebec in particular. And
really?
Montreal specifically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Stinking Montrealers.
Stinking Montrealers.
All right. Let me get the Jackie glasses back on and tell you about this, the pardons from the Chinese, or commutations for the Chinese spies that were convicted of stealing American tech secrets. Why would you pardon these people? Why would you commute their sentences? Why?
Because you're paying back China.
Yep, that's why. There's no other reason for it. But he has pardoned 2 Chinese spies, as Joe Biden, and the relative of a high-ranking member of the Chinese Communist Party who was caught with tens of thousands of images of child pornography on his computer last month. In a prisoner swap between the 2 countries was made public last Thursday. Yanjun Zhu and Ji Shaquan were both convicted of espionage and were granted clemency last month. Very quietly, this happened right around, if not on, Thanksgiving, along with Shanlin Jin, who was convicted of possession of more than 47,000 images of child porn, while a doctoral student at SMU in Dallas is when he did all that. Their clemencies were signed by Biden on November 22nd, so I guess it was just before Thanksgiving. 5 days later, on November 27th, the Chinese government released 3 Americans who were serving prison sentences in the communist country. Mark Swiden, businessman from Texas, who was arrested in 2012 and accused of drug-related offenses. Kai Li, who had been held since 2016 on espionage charges. And Zhan Lung, who was sentenced in 2023 to life in prison. Okay, so it was a swap, I guess. Exchange. So a little more understandable than otherwise, perhaps.
But how many Chinese though?
That's apparently 3 to 3.
Yeah,
according to that story.
Okay, I
think
there's more, but I'll have to check that.
There's more Chinese?
I think so.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
In Israel, they usually have to pardon about 1 to 1,000 when they're getting a prisoner exchange. So. But Biden's in office for another 5 weeks exactly. So there is still time for those preemptive pardons we've been expecting. Here's Biden apologist and former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger talking about presidential pardons a couple years ago.
Did we already play that? We already played that.
Oh, that was the one we already played.
Yep.
There's not another Adam Kinzinger?
No, I'm sure there's plenty, but we only have the one in our stockpile.
And, of course, the Joy Reid thing, we also played that. But it is agonizing. How these people have turned around completely in the last 4 years.
Joe Biden, president for 845 more hours. I don't know.
So we got another 145... 845 more hours. I was going to say 145 doesn't sound like... Yeah. Except we are. We are counting down. In fact, we'll have it down to the minutes and seconds pretty soon.
That's right. I'm looking forward to that.
We cannot wait. All right, let me tell you about the Jace case. You know there's an E. coli outbreak tied to carrots from Grimway Farms that sickened dozens across 18 states. Tragically, 15 people have been hospitalized. One person passed away. While the contaminated carrots have been recalled, the CDC warns everybody to check their fridge and your freezers for affected products. I don't know who puts carrots in a freezer, but if you do, check those too. Grimway Farms operates under several brand names, including 365, Cal Organic, Nature's Promise, O Organics, Trader Joe's, and Wegmans. So be vigilant and make sure you protect your family from all this. There is something else you can do, too, to ensure you and your loved ones are prepared for whatever medical emergencies arise. Thousands have already discovered this life-saving solution, the Jace case. It's fantastic. It's a personalized emergency medication kit. And here's the exciting part. Jace case, the Jace Medical, has just launched an all-new compounded version of ivermectin. It's available as an add-on to the Jace case where you get the 5 antibiotics. Now you can add this on, too, for just $30 extra. Did you know that the U.S. relies on China for over 80% of our generic medication? So a disruption to that supply chain could be catastrophic. Preparing right now is crucial. Go to jace.com, enter the promo code PAT at checkout. You'll get a special discount. That's promo code PAT, P-A-T, at J-A-S-E, jace.com.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
Last week, we had the clip of Secretary of State Antony Blinken being confronted with the money the U.S. has sent to Afghanistan since August of 21, when Biden handed that country back to the Taliban. Not just the country, but $80 billion worth of military equipment. We've seen reports of billions have gone to that country from Biden. And Blinken admitted to $10 million. Watch this from the hearing last week.
Even worse, by the numbers, we've spent $9 billion to resettle 90,000 roughly Afghan refugees here since the fall of Afghanistan. Oh, no. My simple army math tells me that's about $100,000 a person. That's absurd.
Oh, God.
So my question for you, we do not even have an embassy in Afghanistan. We have no diplomats there. What are we doing giving them $1?
Yeah.
So,
Good
Congressman,
question.
as I believe you know, the money that we provide and the international community provides is done through partners, implementing partners, UN agencies, NGOs. They have.
Yes, we could say that about all the State Department dollars, foreign NGOs, foreign countries, foreign companies, and in this case, foreign adversaries.
Wow.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
That's not good. And I tell you what, if you get a chance to listen to Sarah Adams was on the Sean Ryan podcast over the weekend, you want to get pissed off. You listen to her talk about how we spend money overseas and how this money that we're giving to the Taliban, which again, on its face, is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
That Al-Qaeda is taking that money and then they're taking those dollars, putting it into their training camps where they're training for an attack on the United States homeland.
And is that an issue for you?
It is.
Because based on your tone, it sounds like it might be.
Might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would check out that
so
conversation with Sarah Adams on Sean Ryan, because it is.
Sadly, there's a lot to be pissed off about right now.
Sure is.
You know, Jeffy keeps saying, well, I think we needed to have some oversight on these departments. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is no mechanism for that in the Constitution. We can't. I mean, the incoming president and his cabinet has no power until they're inaugurated. And so there's not much you can do in the meantime. And, man, they are doing everything they possibly can to screw up the country and to mess with Donald Trump, make it impossible for him to make changes in this country. They're doing everything they possibly can to derail him before he even gets on the train. It's pathetic. And it's unfortunate that they're allowed to do this.
Yeah, the Department of Government Efficiency can't get into office quick enough.
No, they can't. And they're an advisory committee, so we'll see how that works out. But here was Mark Cuban. What happened? Do you remember when Mark Cuban was supposedly
was he? Don't say it.
Supposedly.
Don't say he never was. No, he thinks he was.
He thinks,
but he doesn't know what a libertarian is.
That's probably
so he
true.
was never a libertarian.
Yeah, he just didn't want to identify as either party. He's just something in between that just is logical and reasonable in the middle. Well, here he is talking about why Kamala lost to Donald Trump.
You know, they would try to give me notes, and I would say, I don't care.
That's what they always want from a surrogate, is for them to go like, hey, man, screw your notes. I'm just going to say were you able to have any influence on policy at all? You know, I know there was some discrepancy between unrealized gains.
I hope not.
And
Jeez.
that was something you thought was a kind of a non-starter. Did you have some influence on policy there?
I think I did. I mean, I talked a lot about unrealized gains. And, you know, when I went out there and said, you know, for the first time, it was ridiculous. And I went back and spoke to them and said,
gains.
you know, I'm not hearing you guys challenge me at all. And they're like, well, you're saying things that we'd like to say, but we can't say.
What?
So I kept on going with it. So I took that as tacit approval and went with it. So that was one area. Another area was crypto. I mean, I was very clear early on that there was data from Pew Research that said, you know, at least 40% of young men were into crypto. And the way I explained it to them wasn't a big picture crypto thing at all. I was like, look, for a 21-year-old kid, particularly men these days, they're not like we were when we were growing up, where it was a rite of passage to open up a bank account or to get a savings account. Now they download Robinhood or Coinbase or some app, and they live in an app economy. And if you downloaded Robinhood or Coinbase, you're buying crypto over stocks. And you're buying crypto not just because you want to see it go up, but because it makes you part of a community. You know, Dogecoin is a meme stock and everybody talks about it, Bitcoin, whatever it may be. And so if these young men have their entire net worth tied up in crypto, and you've got a SEC head, Gary Gensler, doing everything possible to reduce the value of their net worth, and everything they read in those apps about, you know, what's happening to the price of their crypto is, you know, driven and talked about relating to Gary Gensler, they're not going to vote for you. And I said it to Gary Gensler directly. I said it to Kamala. I said it to her team that Gary Gensler could cost her the election. And there's an argument to be made when you look at the numbers. You know, a whole lot of young men voted against Kamala Harris.
But come on. I mean, that might have had something to do with it, but that was not the that was not the whole story. That's for sure.
No, but I think it's very important to see what crypto has done since Trump won.
Yeah, well, look at Fartcoin.
I'm sorry?
It's called Fartcoin. It's totally useless. It's a meme coin, but it has tripled in value over the past week.
Okay.
In a market capitalization of more than $700 million.
Well, now I'm pissed that I didn't buy Fartcoin.
Yeah.
Can you even buy Fartcoin on my
$700 million market evaluation is about equal to Office Depot, Guess Jeans.
Look.
And the parent company of Steak and Shake.
I'm with you.
Can you believe that?
I'm with you on Fartcoin. Oh my gosh, there it
is. That's how much the cryptocurrency thing has exploded, though. It just gives you an idea of what's going on. So it might have had something to do with it. But let me tell you what Van Jones said about why Donald Trump won.
Okay.
He said on CNN over the weekend, "Let me just be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all the critics. You know how I know?" Again, quoting Van Jones. "Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court, the popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem, bigger than the mainstream built, and religious fervor in a political movement around him. This dude is a phenomenon," to further quote Van Jones. "He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime." Yeah. That pretty well sums it up. But, there were several reasons why Donald Trump defeated Kamala Harris. But yeah, crypto was probably...
I think it's a large part.
Among them.
Yeah, among them. That's fair. Because this has been such a hostile administration who has
to Bitcoin and others,
Yeah, they telegraphed their plans for crypto and a central bank digital currency and how they want that control. And Donald Trump, for the last 6 months of the campaign, was very clear that, you're going to keep your... Look, whether somebody put it in the teleprompter or he had just learned about it himself or whatever, regardless of that...
I think he's learned about this himself. He's fairly passionate about it.
He was very clear that you'll get to keep your crypto and... And I honestly...
We're not going to stand in the way of it anymore.
We're not going to stand in the way of it. Vivek is very clear on crypto. RFK was very pro-freedom as well on crypto. Elon, of course. So those are the people that are closest to him right now.
Yeah.
And it's very promising for the future
it is.
Of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
As we talk about all the time, we're in crunch time right now. A new administration will be sworn in soon, but as great as that is, that also means our enemies have days left to stir up trouble, and they're doing it. So that could mean cyber attacks, an invasion, or heaven forbid, a nuclear strike. So until the longtime bureaucrats are out of Washington, I'm not taking any chances. That's why I have an emergency food supply from My Patriot Supply right now. Mine is about 4 years worth, but you can start out with much less than that. And just be prepared. They've got the 3 months emergency food kit, $100 off right now. It's got 2,000 calories per day for 3 months. Plenty to get you through even a prolonged emergency. All their food kits last for up to 25 years in storage. Plus, they come in rugged, weatherproof buckets. So just go to preparewithpat.com right now and order your 3-month emergency food kit. This will get you through just about anything, except Armageddon, maybe. I've got an emergency food supply in my home because the safety of my family is paramount with me. And if it is with you, go to preparewithpat.com to order your 3-month emergency food kit right now. Preparewithpat.com.
Living up the end of the world. Pat Gray returns next.
I got some tweets here. Gen X Kid tweets, Biden's singular determination for whether a pardon is issued. Has the check cleared?
Amen.
Has the check cleared the bar or
the bar
thing with the,
what?
I don't.
Go back to bed, old man. Until January 20th.
From Where's My Pudding? Speaking of Jeffy, were we? But where is your bitch today? He should be coming in daily for the short week.
Wow.
He should be.
Wow. He should, yeah.
Where is he?
I don't know. He said he couldn't come in on Monday.
His excuse was doctor.
Yeah. He's like, you got a standing doctor appointment? Of course, look at him. He might.
And he said
like
yes.
every Monday.
He says every Monday he has a standing appointment with a doctor.
Did he say what kind of doctor?
No.
He said,
don't
worry about it.
Don't worry about what kind of doctor I'm going to. Okay? All right, whatever. Last week, you might remember, we played a clip of Senator Pocahontas basically saying that if you push people too far with health care, by golly, what do you expect?
Okay.
But murder.
Basically.
Murder. That's what you expect. So over the weekend, there was more of that from Democrats. Here's Bernie Sanders.
Oh, gosh.
Elizabeth Warren obviously understands killing and murder and shooting somebody in the back is totally unacceptable.
Does she, though?
But what I think has happened in the last few months is that what you have seen rising up is people's anger at a health insurance industry which denies people the health care that they desperately
no R in
need.
Anger anymore? Who took out the R in
billions
anger?
and billions of dollars in profit.
I can't. Okay, there's always a but.
Yeah, there is.
We all know it's wrong, but no, there's no but there. There's no but.
People are just gross.
Here's Alexandria Ocasio Cortez.
Speaking of gross.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not to say that an act of violence is justified.
But
I think for anyone who is confused or shocked or appalled, they need to understand that people.
No, I don't need to understand.
Interpret and feel and experience
these people
denied claims
despicable
as an act of violence against them.
Okay, it's not an act of violence. It's also he wasn't even a member of UnitedHealthcare. He was never denied care from UnitedHealthcare.
And that fact was out before either of those two clips happened.
And they're still saying it. And you don't even know the CEO's policy on denying claims. Is he there going over every claim? No. The CEO doesn't do that stuff. God, it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable how they're trying to make it okay. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about who am I telling you about? I'm telling you about somebody. Hillsdale College.
Yes, I love them.
I've always loved the Christmas Carol movies, but have you ever wondered what does a story about some ghosts have to do with Christmas? Most of the movies miss the big picture. It's not just about ghosts or holiday spirit, of course. It's a story of how an old grumpy sinner gets reborn after encountering something truly divine. And finally understood that after taking Hillsdale College's free online course, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Now, you've probably heard me mention Hillsdale before. They offer over 40 free online courses, topics like history, politics, economics, and then some. So check it out. Check out their courses today. It's A Christmas Carol. Professor Dwight Lindley will walk you through that course. Go to hillsdale.com. Is it .com? Yeah, okay.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, ran out of time to give you the address of the Hillsdale College free courses. There's 40 free online courses to take at Hillsdale. Fantastic. So go to, including this Charles Dickens one, which is fantastic. Go to hillsdale.edu/Pat right now to enroll. It's free. Again, no strings attached. hillsdale.edu/Pat. Hard to believe, just 9 days left before Christmas. A week from Wednesday is Christmas. Yeah. So today and tomorrow, our last shows of the year. Enjoy them while you can. We'll be doing what? Best ofs?
Yeah.
During the holiday break, so we'll still be here.
Greatest episodes
of all time.
Ever.
That anyone's ever produced.
Yeah, the most important shows you could ever listen to.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss them a second time. Make sure that you're here the entire Christmas break.
Yeah.
Okay? Here's Mitt Romney on the state of our two parties, the Republicans and Democrats, after last month's election. I think you might like this, perhaps.
Spot on.
Here's what he says.
You said in an interview a few months ago that, quote, there's a good chance that the Republican Party is going to need to be rebuilt or reoriented, and that you want to have a voice in the post-Trump Republican Party. Do you think that do you still think there's going to be a post-Trump Republican Party, or is
better
MAGA
update that
now
quote,
the Republican Party?
Oh, MAGA is the Republican Party, and Donald Trump is the Republican Party today.
Yep.
And if you were to ask me who the nominee will be in 2028, I think it'll be J.D. Vance. All right. He's smart, well-spoken, part of the MAGA movement.
You said something pretty harsh about him a few months ago, though. You could not have less respect for somebody than J.D. Vance.
Long ago. I'm not going to rehash history, and we've worked together in the Senate since then. But
back off.
that is what the Republican Party is. And will the party need to change? Look, the Republican Party has become the party of the working class, middle class voter. And you've got to give Donald Trump credit for having done that. Taken that away from the Democrats. Democrats pushed him out. All right, the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren faction of the Democrat Party with some of this, defund the police and transgenders and, biological males in women's sports. These things had a lot of people in the middle class just flee the Democratic Party. They're now Republicans. Now, one of the challenges in my party is that our policies do not necessarily line up with the interests of our voters. And so there'll be some reorientation that's going to be necessary in my party. The Democrat Party is the one in trouble. I don't know how they recover. I'm not going to tell them what to do because I would begin to have the capacity to do so. But they've lost their base. Union guys and gals have left the Democratic Party and are voting Republican. And the Democratic Party is seen not as rich people, but as college professors and woke scolds. And that's not an attractive feature.
Thank you. Wow. Making a little sense there.
Yeah.
More than usual, that's for sure.
In hindsight. I mean, it feels weird to say it, but in hindsight, Mitt Romney losing in 2012 is the best thing that's happened to the Republican Party, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because we aren't going back to that kind of progressive.
Right. He showed us what we don't want in the Republican Party. So thank you for that, Mitt.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I mean, seriously.
And there are some people in strange places making a lot of sense right now. Another one of them, ESPN host Stephen A. Smith, seems to be more and more vocal about Democrats lately. Listen to this.
The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appeared to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that for the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. The belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that the process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about, or downplayed, or misrepresented along the way.
Welcome.
I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? To the Democratic Party. You know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case.
There's an edit there.
That the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies, duplicitous, hypocritical, untruthful tendencies. And every time they made those accusations, we turn around and find out that at least some of them are guilty of the same. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of all of it. They've actually made Donald Trump look like he was right.
Oh, because he was.
Instead of them.
Yeah, right. And he was. Welcome to the world, Stephen A. That's great. Now, if only the rest of the ESPN hosts could understand exactly what he's saying. Wow. Yeah, you're being lied to every day by these buffoons. Every day. The Democrats are accusing the right of doing exactly what they are doing. We've been trying to tell you that for decades, but I guess it's sinking in now because these things are being proven every day. It's great. But don't tell any of that to Joe Biden. As far as he's concerned, he did an excellent job as president.
The one thing I've always believed about public service, and especially about the presidency, is the importance of asking yourself, have we left the country better shape than we found it?
And?
Today, I can say with every fiber of my being, with all my heart, the answer to that question is a resounding yes.
Oh, my gosh, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. What dream world are you living in?
And he play it again because he knows he's wrong. He knows he's lying because he's stumbling over trying to. Well, of course, it's Joe Biden. He stumbles over saying hello.
Yeah.
But listen to how he's like, fiber of being in my body.
The one thing I've always believed about public service, and especially about the presidency, is the importance of asking yourself, have we left the country better shape than we found it? Today, I can say with every fiber of my being, with all my heart, the answer to that question is a resounding yes.
That is...
okay. Okay, I see what you got going over there. Okay, play it again. Play it again.
Okay, that was a little delayed reaction, but play it one more time.
There we go.
Yeah, because
the one thing I've
it
always
needs
believed
this.
about public service, and especially about the presidency, is the importance of asking yourself, have we left the country better shape than we found it?
Right.
Today, I can say with every fiber of my being, with all my heart, the answer to that question is a resounding yes.
All right, yeah, okay, all
right, okay.
Comedy hour.
All right. You cannot be serious.
Well, yeah, he said he was with every fiber of his
with every fiber of his body thing, and
his heart, and
with everything that was fibrous in myself and stuff.
Well, if you thought that was funny, then that means his Act 2, you're gonna find it even more hilarious.
Oh,
we run a campaign that's basically scandal-free.
This guy. Is he on tour?
He's on tour. He's on tour. Here.
Watch for him this weekend at Yuck Yucks.
Yeah, he's going to
try 3 shows nightly.
He's going to try the joke again. Hold on.
Okay. We run a campaign that's basically scandal-free. It's hard to do in American politics these days.
It's just so ridiculous. Yes. It's hard to believe he's even trying to pull that off.
Scandal-free,
That's
boys.
why your party got its ass kicked.
Wow,
that's why.
That's tasty.
Because you're so bad. They've completely rejected your last 4 years.
Yeah.
And then you have the guts, the unmitigated gall to stand there and try to tell us you left the country better than you found it?
Boy.
Oh, my gosh.
Ask Stephen A. Smith if that's accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That is unbelievable. Man. And this is fun. This is kind of fun. ABC News and its top anchor, George Stephanopoulos, have reached a settlement with Donald J. Trump in his defamation lawsuit, which will result in the news network paying the president-elect $15 million. The settlement was publicly filed on Saturday, revealing that the two parties have come to an agreement and avoided a costly trial. According to the settlement, ABC News will pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to a presidential foundation and museum to be established by or for the plaintiff.
How much do those cost these days?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So this probably buys you a door handle.
A door handle, yes.
Yeah, that's about it. Because I think these are going for like hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion now.
Come on, that's just ridiculous.
It is.
Oh my gosh, Obama's cost $482 million.
Yeah.
Wow, you're right.
$482 million.
Enjoy your door handle. The ABC News Memorial door handle at the Trump Library. Okay.
I wonder where that's going to be located.
I was just wondering. I was
probably
thinking that.
Florida or New York.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
He's going to turn the Mar-a-Lago into a museum.
I think he should pick just some random. Maybe do like a lottery, and then the funds go toward the. I don't know. I don't know how you do this, but Just pick some random town.
Now, this happened because Stephanopoulos asserted that Trump was found liable for rape.
Yeah.
In a civil case.
Yeah, we played the clip.
Yeah. Stephanopoulos asked Nancy Mace, how do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw? You've endorsed Donald Trump for president, quoting him still. Judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of rape. He repeated that claim 10 times during his conversation with Mace, despite the fact that a jury actually determined he was liable for sexual abuse, which has a distinct definition under New York law. Also, it was asinine that he was found liable for sexual assault. I mean, when you looked at the evidence in that trial, there wasn't any. First of all, she didn't even know what year it happened. Oh, my gosh. I mean, that was so egregious. And then to use that on ABC as leverage against his policies or his candidacy, despicable. But that's ABC News.
That's ABC News.
You've got The View on every day.
Oh my
it does as bad, if not worse. Just pathetic.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever checked the title to your home? If you're like me, the answer is probably no. And that's exactly why scammers are, that's why they're able to do what they do. That's what they are counting on right now, is that you don't check any of this stuff. So you need to take personal responsibility, though, in this day and age for protecting your biggest asset, your home. The FBI calls this house stealing, and it's a fast-growing crime. Here's how it happens. A criminal fills out a one-page document with your information on it. They forge your signature, stamp it with a phony notary seal, and then they just file it with the county. And just like that, your home isn't legally yours anymore. It belongs to them. Now, usually they don't even want your house. They're just trying to get your equity. So they take out loans against your property and then disappear, leaving you with a debt and a legal nightmare to fix afterward. But you don't have to be a victim. Trust Home Title Lock to protect your property. Their triple lock protection monitors your title 24/7. It alerts you to any changes going on. And if you're a victim, they work to restore your title with out-of-pocket costs to you. No out-of-pocket cost to you. And so this is such a great way to go. HomeTitleLock.com. Go there now. Use the promo code UNLEASHED, and you'll get a free 30-day trial and a free title history report to ensure that your home hasn't already been compromised. So go to HomeTitleLock.com, promo code UNLEASHED, or use the link in the description for 30 days of protection and a free title report. Take action right now to protect what's yours. Go to HomeTitleLock.com.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right. Welcome to it. 888-900-3393, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Republicans continue to spend our money on monstrosities like, the National Defense Authorization Act, which does much more than protect the nation, of course. Here's Congressman Tim Burchett explaining it last week.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett. Just leaving the House floor. It's raining, and I can go this way and do my video and not be hassled.
I love these walk and talks with him.
We just passed the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act.
Mm-hmm.
I voted against it. There's $500 million in there, literally, of foreign aid.
Foreign aid.
And that's kind of what y'all voted in such large numbers against.
Yes, it kind of is.
Everywhere. There's, they allow you to travel for abortions, or they, the paid or whatever to move you around so you can get that. There's just the transgender language. I was told by a couple of attorneys on the House floor was poorly written. I think it had some holes in it.
Okay.
And to make it all matters worse, $9 billion new dollars. Send it over the Senate, it comes back with all that added on. And you remember the Pentagon has not passed an audit. They're on their 7th or 8th one that they haven't passed. We got to do better in this. This is not what you all voted for.
That's right.
And you have members, you have family members that are lobbyists on this stuff. I mean, it is just totally awful. Anyway, we'll keep fighting. Y'all got to hold us accountable. Thank y'all so much for sending me here.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So defense of the nation. We now are paying to cover travel expenses to go get abortions. And he just said that language in there about the trans stuff may not hold up legally.
Incredible.
I'm reading from a Democrat. I don't know what this is, honestly. I didn't print up the name of the publication, but this liberal thing, or newspaper, whatever, website, says, a critical point of contention is a Republican addition that would prohibit the military's health program from covering any gender dysphoria treatments on minors that could result in sterilization. In other words, that got stopped by the NDAA, but Burchett just explained to us the language was written so poorly, that probably won't hold up either. This is insane. You would act like an election. It seems like an election did not just happen, or an election just went in favor of liberals.
They're trying to do everything they possibly can, again, to derail Trump before he even gets on the train.
This is Republicans doing this, too, which makes it even more grotesque.
Something we mentioned last week was Biden's effort to sell all of the materials for the border wall.
Yeah.
That's another. And the bidding starts at $5. $5. Well, Dan Patrick, our lieutenant governor of the great state of Texas, has just said in a conversation with Fox News that Texas is going to buy the border wall materials. He said, I got $1 billion in my pocket to do it. I will go in and buy it all.
In his pocket?
Yeah, it's in his pocket.
It's not from our pocket as Texans? Are we paying for it twice as federal taxpayers?
I'm pretty sure Dan doesn't have $1 billion in his pocket. But
I don't approve of this.
He concluded by calling President Joe Biden a traitor. Strong language, but it's well-deserved. Who's attempting to sabotage the upcoming Trump administration. He said it's disgraceful, it's disgusting, and he'll go down as the worst, most despicable president in the history of this country, yes, because no one has done more to damage and hurt American citizens. He later said he's spoken with Greg Abbott about purchasing the auctioned-off border wall material, and the Texas Facilities Commission indicated that the material for sale was mostly junk, with most panels covered in concrete and rust. Well, yeah, it's been sitting there for 4 years.
Yeah, minimum. More than that.
5 years, 6 years. Who knows how long it's been
I got a
there.
better plan for Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. With all due respect, go to these companies and say, you'll never do business in the state of Texas again if I see you at this auction, so help me. You going down there paying $5 for this stuff?
Unbelievable.
You're done in Texas.
Well, there's others that are trying to stop the sale entirely. Eric Schmidt, Republican senator, is demanding that the Pentagon cease the sale of the border wall materials being offloaded, saying the outgoing administration is sabotaging the effort of securing the border, which is exactly what's happening, while recouping, get this, 0.02% of the money used to buy the material initially.
I'm just enraging.
0.02% is all they're trying to recoup here. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. So you would buy that at such an extreme loss of 99% of the money that you spent on this thing in the first place. That's despicable. How could you even consider doing that?
Well, I mean, I listen to this show. It's called Pat Gray Unleashed. You should check it out. It's every morning on the Blaze TV and radio networks.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so
I think I'll listen.
Yeah, there's this host, and his name's Pat Gray. And one thing he always says is, if you were trying to destroy the United States of America,
what would you do differently?
What'd you do?
Something like that?
So
I think I've heard him say it.
Look, he's on the screen right now. Look at that. Weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern.
Look at that debonair man.
Debonair. How many times have you worn that coat in your life? Seriously, be honest. 5 times.
Once?
Once for that photo shoot.
Photo shoot.
I mean, seriously, this is
it's ridiculous.
Is not too harsh of a word by Dan Patrick. In fact, we used it as well. I think in the same story's context.
Yes.
Traitor.
Yes.
Joe Biden, everybody involved with this administration.
It's treason.
Yep.
Also, I mentioned that tensions are continuing to mount between NATO and Russia. There was a German frigate late last week, F-223, that followed 2 Russian ships up to a spot near the Danish island of Bornholm before they dispatched a Sea Lynx helicopter armed with powerful surveillance equipment to have a closer look at what the Russians were doing in the area. So the Russians responded by shooting flares at the helicopter, forcing the pilot to turn back. Nobody was hurt. The helicopter wasn't damaged, but it just shows that this thing is right on the precipice of breaking out into all-out war between NATO and Russia.
Yeah, because next time that could be a missile from Russia hitting a German aircraft, and then it's attack on one, it's an attack on all.
Again, these 5 weeks can't pass fast enough for Trump to get into office and calm this situation down and so many others. Jeez. We're just on fire right now. We need the Trump extinguisher. All right. Overtime coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.